Most people handle disrespect in one of two ways. They either snap back and make the situation worse, or they stay quiet and let it happen again. And both of those responses send the same message to the person disrespecting you, that they can get away with it. But here's what most people don't realize. How you respond to disrespect the first time determines whether it becomes a one-time thing or a pattern. Because people will treat you exactly how you teach them to treat you. And if you don't know how to handle it in a way that protects your dignity without lowering yourself to their level, you'll keep dealing with the same behavior over and over. So if you've ever been disrespected and didn't know how to respond, these 6 strategies will change how people treat you. Not because you're being aggressive, but because you're being clear about what you will and won't tolerate. And that clarity is what creates respect. Before we start, like the video and subscribe to LifeBased for more insights about the patterns shaping your life and relationships. Let's get into it. Number 1, don't react immediately. The first instinct when someone disrespects you is to react, to snap back, to defend yourself. But that reaction is exactly what they want. When you react emotionally, you lose control of the situation. You give them power, and you make yourself look like the problem instead of them. So the first thing you can do is pause. Don't say anything, just let the moment sit. The silence itself sends a message that you're not playing their game. This doesn't mean you're letting it slide. It means you're refusing to give them the satisfaction of seeing you lose your composure. People who disrespect you are testing you. They want to see if they can get under your skin. And when you don't react, when you stay calm and unbothered, it throws them off because they didn't get what they wanted. That pause gives you time to think about how you actually want to handle this, instead of saying something in anger you'll regret later. And staying calm makes you look stronger while making them look worse. Number 2, address it directly without emotion. After you've collected yourself, that's when you address it. Not with anger, but with calm directness. You name what happened, you make it clear that you noticed, and you let them know it's not acceptable. No drama, no yelling, just a simple statement of fact. This sounds like, "I don't appreciate being spoken to that way," or "What you just said was disrespectful and I need you to not do that again," or "I noticed you interrupted me, I wasn't finished." It's not aggressive, it's just direct. And that directness is powerful because it doesn't give them anything to argue with. You're not attacking them, you're just stating a boundary. When you do this calmly, it's harder for them to twist it into you being the problem. Most people who disrespect others aren't used to being called out calmly. They're used to people either staying quiet or exploding. So when you address it without emotion, it catches them off guard. And that puts you in control, because you've made it clear that you see what they're doing and you're not letting it slide. Number 3, set a clear boundary and follow through. Addressing it once is important, but if the disrespect continues, you need a boundary with a consequence you're actually willing to enforce. Because words without action mean nothing. If you say, "Don't speak to me that way," and then let them continue with no consequence, you've taught them that your boundaries don't matter. The boundary only becomes real when you enforce it. Say, "If you continue to speak to me disrespectfully, I'm going to leave this conversation." Or, "If you keep interrupting me, I'm not going to include you in these discussions anymore." And then when they do it again, you do exactly what you said. You leave the conversation, you create distance. Because the only way people learn you're serious is when they see you enforce your boundaries. Most people set boundaries but don't follow through. They say what they won't tolerate and then continue tolerating it. And that's why the disrespect continues, because there's no real consequence. But when you actually do what you said, it sends a message. Your boundaries aren't suggestions, they're requirements. And if someone can't meet those requirements, they lose access to you. That consequence teaches them more than any conversation ever could. Number 4, stop seeking their approval or validation. One of the reasons disrespect hurts is because on some level, you care what that person thinks. You want their respect, you want their approval. But here's the truth. People who disrespect you don't get to define your value. Their opinion is irrelevant, and the moment you stop seeking anything from them, the disrespect loses its power. You reclaim your power by not needing theirs. This is a mental shift. It's realizing that someone disrespecting you says everything about them and nothing about you. When you internalize that, when you truly stop caring whether they respect you or not, it changes how you show up. You're no longer trying to prove yourself to them, because their opinion doesn't matter to you anymore. People who disrespect others do it to people they think will tolerate it, to people who seem to need their approval. But when you stop caring, when you stop reacting like their opinion has weight, they lose the leverage they thought they had. And either way, you win, because you're no longer emotionally invested in what they think of you. Number 6, limit your exposure to them. You can't always cut people out of your life completely. Sometimes they're coworkers, sometimes they're family, but you can always control how much time and energy you give them. One of the most effective ways to handle someone who disrespects you is simply to reduce the amount of access they have to you. You don't need to announce it, you just quietly pull back, and that withdrawal speaks louder than any confrontation. Keep conversations short and surface level. Don't share personal things with them anymore. Don't go out of your way to spend time with them. You create distance without creating conflict, and that distance protects you because the less time you spend around someone who disrespects you, the less opportunity they have to do it. People notice when you pull back. They notice when you're not as available, when you're not as open. And for some people, that's enough to make them check their behavior, because they realize that treating you poorly has consequences, that you're not going to keep showing up for someone who doesn't respect you. And if they don't change, if they don't care that you've created distance, then you have your answer about their value in your life. Number 6, know when to walk away completely. There's a point where addressing it, setting boundaries, and limiting exposure isn't enough, where someone has shown you so clearly that they don't respect you that the only option left is to walk away. Because staying in a dynamic where you're constantly disrespected will drain you. It will make you question yourself. It will chip away at your peace, and no relationship is worth that. Walking away doesn't mean you failed. It means you respected yourself enough to remove yourself from a situation that wasn't serving you. It means you recognize that some people aren't going to change. People who respect you don't need to be taught. They just do it. And people who don't, won't, no matter how many boundaries you set or how clearly you communicate. You'll know it's time when the disrespect is consistent, when you've addressed it and nothing changed, when boundaries are ignored, when being around this person makes you feel worse instead of better. That's when you walk, not out of anger, but out of self-preservation, because your peace matters more than any relationship. These 6 ways to handle disrespect aren't about changing the other person. They're about protecting yourself, about setting the standard for how you'll be treated. Because disrespect only continues when it's tolerated. And when you stop tolerating it, when you stay calm, address it directly, set boundaries, stop seeking validation, create distance, and walk away when necessary, you take back control, not over them, over yourself. And that's the only control that actually matters. Because at the end of the day, how you allow people to treat you is always your choice. If you found this helpful, like the video and subscribe to LifeBased for more insights about the patterns shaping your life and relationships. Thanks for watching.